All right. Thank you all for coming this morning. Michael Keith Feldman, Communications Chief with the Office of the Essex County District Attorney Paul Tucker. Also in attendance from the District Attorney's Office, we have Chief of Staff Sharon Lubis and Chief Legal Counsel Scott DeLay. The order will be, we'll have Paul Tucker will make some remarks, followed by Methuen Police Chief Scott McNamara. And we'd also like to thank, in attendance, we have the State Police Detectives Unit, Sergeant Thomas Sullivan and Detective Daniel Hinshin. And for anyone I missed, I apologize. But with that, I will turn it over to Essex County DA Paul Tucker.
Great. Thank you, Mike. Good morning, everybody. So this is another tragic case of gun violence that brings us together this morning. In the early morning hours this morning, we had 7 people struck by gunfire, 2 critical, 5 in stable condition, and an 8th person that was injured, who was fleeing the scene, received some serious head injuries. All 7 individuals are being treated. As I said, 2 are in critical condition. At least 1 was med-flighted into an area hospital. This case has been part of many series of the social media, Snapchat events where people meet up. I'm going to ask Chief McNamara to give us some of the details of it. But here we see again gun violence that's striking at the heart of the community. And we are working very hard. Our state police detectives have been on the scene all night with Methuen Police Department, Methuen detectives who responded to such a chaotic scene. Our crime scene services folks have been working very hard, particularly with ballistics evidence. As you can imagine, this is still a very fluid investigation. We're only 7 or 8 hours into it, so there may be some things that we may not be able to tell you right now, and we will update you as much as we can, as quickly as we can. We've seen in Essex County just overnight, there was also a homicide in Lynn. Again, gun violence has taken a life there. So I'm going to ask Chief McNamara to make some remarks, and then we'll be able to take some questions. Thank you. Chief?
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Good morning, everyone. Let me start by saying we are certainly deeply saddened by the tragic events of last night, and our hearts go out to the victims and their families. These acts of senseless violence do not represent the values of our community. So last night at 1:55 a.m., the Methuen Police Department responded to the area of 100 Lindbergh Avenue for a report of shooting. We received multiple 911 calls in that regard. Upon our arrival, our officers found at least 7 victims suffering from gunshot wounds and another victim with injuries not sustained from a gunshot. It looks like a fall while running. I want to recognize the members of the Methuen Police and Fire Department who responded directly to the scene last night and employed extraordinary life-saving measures on at least 2 of those victims. I also want to thank the multiple law enforcement agencies that provided mutual aid support to us last night, including Lawrence PD, Drake PD, North Andover PD, and the Massachusetts State Police. I want to reassure our community that while these spontaneous car club meetups, they generally do not escalate to this type of violence, our policy has been and will continue to be to take law enforcement action wherever appropriate to discourage this activity from occurring in the first place. Rest assured, we'll continue to work with our state and local law enforcement partners to address the underlying issues that led to last night's violence, and we will continue to move this community forward towards healing. Thank you, and we're prepared to answer whatever questions you may have.
Any arrests? Has anyone been arrested?
There's been no arrest at this time.
Do you have a suspect?
As the district attorney said, it's very fluid, an active investigation. We have some evidence and some strong leads, but we don't have a suspect at this time.
Chief, can you elaborate and explain a little bit more about these parties? How do they come about and what typically happens?
Sure, it's something we've been dealing with here in Methuen, in the Merrimack Valley and beyond, frankly. It's been happening for the last several years, and what the manner in which they generate typically is these spontaneous meetups. They use social media sources, Snapchat and others. In some cases, we're kind of able to infiltrate that and kind of learn where these things are going to take place, these meetups are going to take place. In other cases, we're not. We certainly have some hot spots here in Methuen that we continue to monitor, where this activity has taken place in the past. Unfortunately, where this incident happened last night, we've never had that type of meetup in that type of area. We do, in fact, work with the neighboring agencies and the state police. We've done a number of operations to discourage this type of activity in the past. Where we've found it here in Methuen, we've always taken law enforcement actions. We'll certainly cite them for trespassing. That's what's typically happening. They're finding an abandoned parking lot. It's usually young people between the ages of 16 and 20. They meet, they listen to music, dance, that sort of thing. So when we see the activity, whether it be trespassing, loud music, that frankly loud music is a pervasive concern in this community and many others, we certainly take action where we can to discourage it. And we've been fairly successful in that regard. And unfortunately, we did experience a tragic incident here in Methuen last night.
Do you have the gun?
Excuse me?
Did you find the weapon? Do you have the gun?
We have not.
Are these meetups typically violent in this regard?
Could you repeat that?
Are the meetups typically violent in this way?
No, they're not. There's certainly a concern for our community in terms of quality of life. Usually these meetups consist of very loud music, disorderly conduct, sometimes drinking, vaping, that sort of thing. It's a serious concern for us, of course, and like I said, we take law enforcement action wherever we find it. But we haven't had a situation like this where it's escalated to this type of violence in the past.
And do you know how old the individuals are in this instance?
Yes,
Yeah, it's so they range in age from late teens up to 22. And I think to illustrate on the chief's point, one thing that I would add is that the large gatherings, that there were hundreds of people here. And when you think about the ballistics evidence that we're recovering, it's incredible that not more people were hurt or killed, even though there are 2 people that suffered critical injuries. It's pretty amazing also that with the amount of ballistics evidence that we're recovering, that more people weren't hurt. I also want to add that we have an assistant DA that goes out to all of these things. Jess Strasnick represented us here in Methuen, and A.J. Camillia represented us in Lynn. This really is a team effort. The chief mentioned the mutual aid, working this together with the Massachusetts State Police, the local authorities here. He mentioned Drake and Lawrence as well. That's really how we have to combat these large meetups. And unfortunately, this turning violent this morning, although unusual, we worry very much about it at the DA's office and in law enforcement. We worry very much about it in the near future.
Is it safe to say that hundreds of shots were fired then?
No.
You're saying large amount of ballistics?
It's multiple shots were fired. I'm not going to tell you how many, but multiple shots. It was not in the hundreds, but it was many.
Was there more than one weapon looking at ballistics, does it appear?
So our crime scene services folks are just wrapping up the crime scene now. They'll be taking everything, all the evidence back to the lab. We'll have a better answer on that over the next couple of days.
More than one suspect, not sure.
Not ready to comment on that yet.
Are you able to provide any other details on the shooting in Lynn as well, as far as what led to that, if there are any suspects there?
What we know at this point is that there was an individual parked in front of Market Basket on Federal Street in Lynn. He was in his vehicle. Multiple shots were fired at the vehicle, one of which fatally struck the occupant. The vehicle then rolled into a bit of a ravine, into some bushes. Active investigation there. We've been in touch with our investigators there as well, Lynn Police Detectives and our State Police Detective Unit assigned to the Essex DA's office. It's been a very busy night. Unfortunately, gun violence has been visited upon 2 very good communities in Lynn and Methuen. We're doing everything we can to bring the people who are responsible to justice.
So there is no connection between the 2?
There is no connection at all between the 2.
Does it appear that car was targeted in Lynn?
We don't believe it was random. We believe it was targeted, and with the individual inside was the one that was struck and fatally injured.
Back here in Methuen, are the victims from Methuen or from varying towns?
So we have a number of people that listed as victims and a number of people listed as witnesses, people that were in attendance. I think it's safe to say, Chief, that they're from all over the county and beyond. So.
I know you said 2 people are in critical condition from the Methuen incident. Does it appear that either of those individuals will not make it?
We're hoping for a good outcome. They are listed by medical authorities as being in critical condition. We are hoping that they make it.
Are they all from Methuen as well, do you know?
All over Essex County.
What hospital were the victims taken to? Or?
Yeah, we generally don't comment on that.
Okay.
So. I appreciate
Everybody
it.
else was released besides these two?
So the last I saw, there was 5 people in stable condition. There was no indication that they had been released as of yet. So 7 people hospitalized altogether.
Okay.
So.
I take it there was some sort of fight in the gathering, and that's what led to the gunfire, is that what you guys are finding?
So we're reviewing everything that we can from an evidentiary standpoint, and I would say over the next 24 hours we'll be able to give you some very definitive, concrete information about what led to it and what the results were. Again, this is only 7 or so hours old, and can you imagine the chaotic scene that our police officers under Chief McNamara's command, imagine the scene that they rolled up on. So I think we're in a pretty good place from an investigation standpoint. Our state police detectives are out. They've been out all night long, and we're going to keep working this until we find who's responsible.
Can you say how many people had gathered?
Hundreds.
So is this at Bay State Disposal? That's what that address comes up as?
So it's, and Chief, you'll know it's a commercial area down there?
I think that the closest business related to that is a business called EJ Paving, and of course they have nothing whatsoever to do with this. And we had an opportunity to speak with them this morning, and they were very helpful in terms of our investigation. They've never had an incident like that in the past. Had they had an incident like that in the past, they would have notified us, and that would have been yet another area that we would have been monitoring for this activity. So it's another reason why it escaped our detection last night.
Any security footage that they had that they gave you? Or?
Yes, there is security footage that we're viewing, not just from that business, but many others in the area.
Are you going to be releasing that?
I'm sorry?
Will you be releasing that video?
Not at this time.
Not in the short term, no.
Okay. So as far as suspects, anything the public should be worried about? Are you asking for help or?
Yes, and that's actually how I was going to close things if everybody is finished, actually asking for help. There are hundreds of people involved here, and these are terrible crimes, not only for the individuals who suffered these gunshot wounds, but their family and the community as well. We are absolutely asking for help. We've got a number of leads that we're following from the evidence that's been presented with us, but I don't think anything could be as good as people reaching out and giving us information, particularly if it's firsthand. We would very much appreciate that. So thank you. All right. I want to thank everybody for coming. I know it's Sunday morning. I appreciate it. I know it was fairly short notice, but we wanted to make sure that we get out ahead of any of the rumors or anything else, make sure we give out the facts, and as Chief McNamara has done in a very clear and concise way, this is all we can release at this point, and as soon as we get more information, we'll be happy to get that out to the folks as well. I think the public has a right to know what's happening. So thank you all for coming. We appreciate it.
So wrapping up just moments ago, a press conference out of Methuen, Massachusetts, after 8 people were injured in a shooting incident in the early morning hours. This is the very latest. We do know that 2 of the victims are currently in critical condition. 7 people in all struck by gunfire. The 8th person was injured as well. This is according to the Essex County District Attorney as well as the Methuen Police Chief. This area, Methuen, Massachusetts, is about 30 minutes north of Boston, and you're taking a live look at Boston at this hour.